Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be working on the beginning stages of our needlebook. This I stitched on. I still have a few more places that I need to stitch on, but I'm going to explain what I'm going to do here after. And I just laid out some pieces for the back of it. I kind of wish I did this as the front, but it is what it is. So before I jump into that, I want to show you something that I got for future kits. I am thrilled about this find. So let me explain a little bit about them to you. I'm looking to create a very old vintage / antique needlebook or slow stitch kit for other people that might be interested in doing something that might be a little different than your average one. So I happened to stumble across these, and most of these, with the exception of these two, are French fabrics, and you can tell. I mean, this is absolutely gorgeous. Look at the detail on that. And I'm not sure if you can see, but there seems to be a print behind this. I don't know whether or not it's a faded print or it picked up print from something else. It might, I'm not quite sure, but it's beautiful. And this would make an absolutely gorgeous needle book kit or slow stitch kit. This is another one, and this one is super soft. I mean, really soft. And it's unlike the other one, where the other one, I think it felt like more 100% cotton. This feels, I'm not even quite sure what it is, but it's silky soft. And look how beautiful that is. Look at that. And here's another French one. This is more of a feed sack type weave, if you can see that. And I'll show you what the feed sack weave looks like in a minute. So this is another French one, and they all coordinate beautifully. And here's another French one. And this one also has faded green in there, which is kind of interesting. I'm not sure whether that was the intent of it or the green just faded, but it's really pretty. And if we do a slow stitch project with this, we can easily stitch over these leaves and create our own. So that's another one that goes in this collection. And then this is one of my favorites, but I don't have a lot of it. I just love these colors. Look at this. Look at that. And that's the piece I have. It's not that big. But you know what? I can cut them up. And this kit is going to be a little bit more expensive because these fabrics have been not cheap to buy and not easy to find. And I'm hoping to have a few color options. I'm working on some of these too for the retreat. Look at this. Look at this. This is the biggest piece I have. It's quite a large piece. And now that I'm looking at it, I see yellow in there. I'm not sure if you guys can see that in the camera. Let me see if I can undo this. But there's a little bit of yellow in there. Just like the other one had a faint green. So I have a huge piece of this. And then I started getting into the feed sacks. And again, I'm not quite sure how many I'll put together on this. I'm not sure even how old these are, but you can tell they're pretty old. And these are the old feed sack. Remember I was telling you about the weave? Not sure if you can see that weave. But it's a looser weave, and the quality's unbelievable. I'm trying to find some that coordinate together. I got a bag of some over here, some scraps from somebody, and they're kind of cool too. This one was one of my favorites. I'm a shabby chic girl. And this one, there's quite a bit of it. And this is more heavy duty and has that aged look to the edges. So that one's another one that I found. I spend a lot of time looking, and I'm hoping that all of you guys like this. Now, I also have another one under here, and this one came just like this. And I don't remember if I showed you ladies or not. I probably did, so I'm not going to go too crazy showing you. But these are all scraps from the feed sacks, and they're really cool. The prints are just unbelievable. And these colors, you can tell, some of them are really old. And I'm going to have to find the history out on these feed sacks. But how beautiful would these look pieced inside one of these kits with some very, very vintage antique lace. So that I'm working on. And today we're going to work on just putting together the basics. Now, some of you, I've been running out of different bases. This is not mandatory. You guys may have a base. I've even used before old quilts. You can use an old quilt piece, which I have some too, which I probably, maybe that be the one I'll take with me when I go to Canada. But see these old napkins, and you never know what to do with them. These make perfect ones, because what you do, and I'll show you in a minute, this, you know, you're not going to see it. You can leave the trim on, or you can cut the trim off. You can create the size you want. But basically what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you, and I think I'll show you on this particular one. So you're going to iron it out, and you want to make it so you can fold it. And you want to try to get this as even as you can, because if you're going to be doing it as a junk journal cover or a needle keep, you want it to look cohesive on the outsides, like so. So it's totally up to you if you want this to be the top or this to be the top. And we can stitch lace around this and everything. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to grab a piece of this. Now this comes in a bag, and I posted it in the links on my Amazon cart, or I think you can buy it at the fabric store, but you know, these fabric stores are all disappearing. So what you're going to do is you're going to cut a piece to fit inside. Now let me go cut that, and I'll be right back. I have my piece cut, and it is not perfect, as you can see. And you can, if you're, you know, one of these people that like to measure and all that, I can't be bothered. And my husband laughs because I don't have patience for certain things, but I can sit and I can stitch. Go figure. So you're going to take your piece, whether it be your napkin or whatever you have, your little placement, whatever it is. And you're going to, like I said, open it up. You're going to iron. And you're going to put this just inside. So it goes like this. And at the end, we can trim this. If you notice on this one that I did, and I just laid out my other pieces, so I don't really want to, for the back, I don't want to really mess it up. But let's see, one side, the quilt, I think it might be this side. The quilt didn't go all the way to the end. And I did use that fusible web on here, but to try to get this to secure down, it didn't work. So don't even bother using it. And what we're going to do is you're not going to stitch this around the edges until we're done stitching on the cover. Because if we did, you're going to have all your stitching like I have here. See how I did that? If you do that, you're going to have all your stitching like this on the other side. And I don't want to do that because I want to use this other side as the inside of my book or whatever I'm making with this. Hoping that makes sense. So it's folded in half with the piece inside, and then we stitch on top. If you don't feel secure with keeping this on like this, you can use common pins. I don't know why I always forget words when I'm on here. Normally, guys, I'm not like this. I promise you. So when you get to that point, basically what you're going to do is you're going to take your fabrics that I sent you and you're going to play around with them. What I do is I'll take some bigger pieces. I'll play around with these French ones. So nobody received huge pieces because you really don't need huge pieces. I'd rather give you a variety of pieces than not. Than little piece, than just a few big ones. So what you want to do is, if you want to work on your front cover first, I did that with my other one, but I'm beginning to wonder it might be easier if we just work on it just like this. So you just want to take your pieces and you just want to start playing around with them and laying them out, and it'll change. It'll totally look different than what you first planned it out to be. So we can add this over here for a little color. See, I won't use a lot of this just because I don't have a lot of it. So we'll put that here. Then I have this gorgeous one. And maybe I'll add that here. And then I'll go forward and I'll figure out if these colors coordinate and look nicely. Then I'll move forward and cut strips. You don't need big pieces like I had said. This one here, let me move this. I'll show you. I'm just going to take this apart. The other thing is I highly suggest you take a picture of your layouts, because if you don't, and you somehow, let me see if I can move this a little closer. There we go. If you don't, and you like it, and your cat jumps on it, or you pick it up and you totally forget, then you'll be aggravated at yourself. So I knew I wanted this here, and I knew I liked this frame because I thought I could really do some cute stitching, maybe put some pearls in there. So I knew I wanted that. So after I figured out my pieces, I just kind of threw them down. You can see these are all cut pieces. And I did my whole layout around this little girl and this. So if you notice underneath, I don't need to cover up all these spaces because it's going to be covered up with this frame. So once I have this all ready, what I'll do more than likely, which I think I'm really happy with it, is I'll tack it down with some common pins just to hold it secure so they don't move. After I go around, after I'm done stitching, I'll go around and I'll trim these pieces off the edges. I'll just use my little scissors and trim. If you don't think you can do that, or if you're a quilter and you really want to just lay them out perfectly, you can do that. You can even cut them triangle. There's so many different variations. You can add some of the laces that I sent you on here. Some of you guys got some beautiful, beautiful trim. It's really endless. This is one of my favorite trims, and I thought this would look gorgeous as a focal on one of them. This is one of Sheila's. Look how beautiful that would be. And then you could add on top other fabrics. So it's endless on the things you can do. So I'm going to have all of you ladies start off with doing your layout. Lay everything out. See what you want, pin it down, and then we'll work on stitching it down. Just so all of you are aware, I am no stitching guru. I'm pretty new at this. I sit in front of the TV, chat with my husband, and I'm really enjoying it. There's no secret. These are little X's. These are just regular stitches, and I can pull my book out and look. But I figured, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to just get this anchored down, and I'll do my fancy stitches on top. So that's basically the very simple layout of this. And then I wanted to pull out things like the buttons. If I thought that was too big, there are so many different, variations that I can add on here. I kind of like that there. And then I could always, add a few other buttons. Then I found this. Look at this on the right piece. That would look cool. If you put a ribbon through it or something, that's actually looks like a big button or something. When I tell you I have buttons, I have so many. So you can add buttons all over this thing. This is cute. When I have this laid down, I could do a button in the corner, up here. I only gave you guys a few buttons to work with. Go ahead, use your buttons, use your fabric. Sky's the limit with this. It really is. So that'll be enough for today's video, and I'll be back and show you a few stitching videos on how I do this. And I think maybe what I'll do is do some of the stitching on top of here, and what I'm going to do. I'll do a few stitches live just to show you, but like I said, these aren't even, and they're not supposed to be. So I'll be back. If anybody's still interested in getting the kits, they are not the same as the ones I showed in the video, but you message me and tell me, I like this number, number 4. I like the one with the pinks. I can throw together something so similar that you won't even know the difference. I have so many fabrics over here, so many different things that I can throw in it. So if you're still interested, definitely pop me an email fast. When I head to Canada, I'm going to Canada next week, I am not going to be selling these kits. I need to be working on creating them to be bringing with me to the retreat. So I'd love to have you all join me in making this. We can make this together. Just pop me an email at Lauze, Lauze, @gmail.com, and I will put all that information in the description box. Thanks for watching. You guys have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.